Welcome to a brand new season of Ink Differently, the podcast that dives into the vibrant world of personalized product decoration. I'm Rhonda, your host and education manager here at Sawgrass. In each episode, I'll be chatting with the amazing minds behind Sawgrass, as well as talented Sawgrass users just like you. Together, we'll uncover inspiring stories, expert tips, and the cutting-edge innovation that makes Sawgrass the industry leader in sublimation printing and customized product design. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, this season is packed with creativity, community, and game-changing insights you won't want to miss. We are so lucky today to have with us Brett Buhle, who has been with Sawgrass for 5 years. And Brett has had just about every role. Brett, we are so glad to have you with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we're going to start with some get to know you questions, all right?
All right.
Okay, so it's an either or. Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
Okay. Chess or checkers?
Ooh. For strategy chess, for fun, and keeping my friends, I would say checkers.
Okay. Earbuds or headphones?
Earbuds.
Okay. Salt or pepper?
Pepper.
Why?
Because I feel like most food already has salt because of preservatives and whatnot. So pepper is actually the only thing you'd be adding to it.
Awesome. Orange juice or apple juice?
Orange juice.
Okay. Vacation or staycation?
I think both have a place, but right now I'm thinking staycation.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Oh, that was a transition. Now I'd say early bird.
Early bird, okay. You know I am the earliest of the early
Yes,
birds,
you did,
so
yeah.
I'm with you. All right, pen or pencil?
Pencil. Yeah.
Because you're an artist,
Yeah.
so yeah. Notebook or laptop?
Ooh, I interact. I kind of bounce back and forth between the two, but probably notebook.
Okay. Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
Dine in or delivery?
Delivery.
Text or call?
Text.
Okay, yeah, I'm not a phone
I'm
person.
good.
Yeah. All right, brick or plain walls?
I really like exposed brick.
Cupcake or cookie?
Cupcake. Especially if there's buttercream, because that's superior.
Yeah. All right, driver or passenger?
Driver.
Driver, okay. Play or musical? These are
Musical.
oddly specific to you, I know.
Musical.
Musical, all right. 1 or 2 pillows?
2.
Okay. Both under your head or?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a head pillow and a hand pillow, so.
Hand pillow? I have
Yeah,
follow-up
because
questions.
I keep my hands up near my head, so typically my hand goes on a pillow.
All right.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Okay. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Backpack or suitcase?
Backpack.
Bagel or donut?
Donut.
Milkshake or smoothie?
Smoothie, actually. That's where I'm leaning today.
Okay.
Tomorrow it might be a milkshake, but today it's smoothie.
Window or aisle seat?
I have very long legs, so I'm going to say aisle seat.
Okay. Online shopping or in-store?
Probably in store, because again, I'm very tall. So especially if it's anything that's apparel, I need to put my hands on it.
Oh, fair. And finally, reading or audiobook?
Reading.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Thanks.
playing along. Those weren't too bad.
Nah, not at all.
All right. So, Brett, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to work at Sawgrass, and how long have you been here?
Okay. Well, okay, let's start. This is one of those questions that I always have a prepared answer, and then midway through speaking, I change it. Um, so, my name is Brett. I was born and raised in Charleston. I moved to New York for 3 years when I was finishing college. When I graduated, I decided to come back home. And I was working on logistics and kind of all the practicality and doing the creative thing on the side. And one of my friends reached out to me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, you looking for a job?" And I'm like, not really. Why? What are we talking about? And then they explained Sawgrass, what they did, kind of I called it creative support that I was really fond of, and kind of sold me on the solution. And then I interviewed the next week, and then joined the tech support team pretty quickly after that. And I've kind of stuck with it. Between off and on, I think it is about 5 years total.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of the job is actually the collaboration that I get to do. Like I said, a lot of my background and side hustle, so to speak, is all creative. So being able to connect with other creatives and help create content that will inspire even further creatives is probably my favorite thing.
Awesome. And what is your current role with the company?
Well, again, my hands are in like 12 different cookie pots, cookie jars, I think is the proper term, but we'll run with that one. But right now I head up social media engagement, and I maintain relationships with our brand partners.
Awesome. And what does a typical day for you look like?
So I'm going to preface this by saying every day is vastly different, because one of the cool things about working at Sawgrass is every day, basically everything we do changes based on what our customer needs, and what our influencers need. So I'd say a normal day, the process that I would follow is I come in, check social, see what kind of comments we have. There's a 80% chance that if you've been responded to by Sawgrass, that was me. Because we like to engage, see what's going on, check for any trending issues, talk to our support team if we need to, reach out to any brand partner videos that we have scheduled, make sure that they feel comfy and supported, connect with the team, and just kind of, it's literally, from the minute I sit down to the end of the day, I'm talking to someone, even if it's virtually. It's just keeping things moving.
All right, perfect. Now, this is my favorite question for employees. What did you know about sublimation before you came to Sawgrass?
Sublimation as it applies to decorating, nothing. I knew what the scientific definition of sublimation was, which for the record is when a substance moves from a solid to a gas by skipping the liquid phase. And when I got to come here and see how that applied to the creative space, it was a whole new world.
All right, now you have a lot of social media marketing experience. Tell me a little bit about that.
Ooh, okay. That has been a journey. I'll put it that way. Like I mentioned before, when I was finishing up college, I was living in New York, and working in logistics, pursuing acting on the side. So that's where I really kind of started learning more about social media, in order to promote myself. And during my senior year, I got an internship with a startup out of New York that was completely online. It was basically amalgamating all of the events that took place at the museums in New York, which there are countless museums in New York, so it was very easy to lose the events. So when I was in that particular role, I got to help create content, I got to help create PR packages, I got to help strategize how to get people to see the events, and even got to go to some really weird, interesting museums in New York. And that's kind of when I started seeing how social media just isn't just the practicality, it is also the creative. So when I got out of my internship and I moved back home, I continued working with my personal brand, which is channels you cannot find anymore because we moved on. And then a lot of my friends who are still actors and models, and then I got to work with a brand where I got to create creative content and kind of move into that creative space, which kind of works in my current role. So it was this very full circle moment, which was pretty nice. So I dipped all the toes.
Okay, so a lot of our users have small businesses, have home-based businesses, or selling in some way, shape, or form. How important is social media for those small businesses and home-based businesses?
Arguably, I would say top two most important things. When you really think about it, back in the day, like pre-social media, what the mainstay of spreading your business was word of mouth marketing. And when social media came around, it basically became word of mouth with a megaphone. So for a small business, that is where your value echoes throughout the world of social media, and where you get to put your content and your solution in front of new customers. So I would say either number one or number two.
Okay.
Slots.
Now, do you think there's a difference in the role social media marketing plays if you sell online and if you sell in person, like at markets and stuff?
I don't think there's a difference in the role it plays. I think it is equally important. What will change is your methodology.
Right.
Because even if you're setting up at a booth, people don't know to go if you don't let them know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And when you're online, same thing. People don't know to buy unless you show them you can.
Yeah, so I think if you're online only, it's more about showing the product.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're doing it in person, it's both.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're showing the product to get people interested in coming out, and then giving them the information on how to find you.
Absolutely. When it's in person, there's also this very interesting space that you have to live in where it's almost cross-marketing. Because if you're setting up a booth, especially if it's like a festival or like a market,
Mm-hmm.
then you kind of need to give a nod to that as well. And you have a unique opportunity to tap into that market as well. So it's equally important in both scenarios for sure.
What role do you think marketing plays in small business, or even for crafters who sometimes sell?
Well, I think it's directly in line with what I was saying. Marketing, especially in social media, that's where you get to sell your solution, which is very interesting living in kind of a creative space, because your solution isn't, you're solving a problem, but that problem is my wall looks ugly, empty.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of sell. So you really have to market your solution, but you also have to market yourself. You have to market the creative process. You have to get people invested in you as a creator, because that is your brand, and that's honestly part of the product. Because if you think about it online, you can buy the same product effectively from 5 different people.
Yeah.
But if one of them has a social media presence where you're like, they're funny, they make me smile, you're going to buy from them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was actually talking to someone last night, and they sell, or they produce a whole lot of things. And there was one design that's coming to them from 10 different artists online. It's basically the same design. One person designs it, someone else rips it off, and so forth and so on. And then you're getting the same design from 10 different people.
100%. It's the world of art in general is a bit of an echo chamber. So you have to figure out how to set yourself apart, and really your personality is what does that.
Yeah, I'm working on a social media tips workshop. And one of the things it said is that your social media presence is all about relationship building.
100%.
Yeah.
It's, you're selling yourself, but you're engaging with your audience, which I think is one of the really, really cool things about that, especially as a small business or a building entrepreneur, is doing it that way. You get to engage directly with your audience to give them what they need, but it becomes this two-way street. So you can then look at analytics, you can look at comments, you can look at, honestly, their pages, and now you have ideas of what they want. So yes, it might be the same design that 10 different people make, but then you also have the opportunity to think up whole new solutions for people. Whether that's reimagining that design or connecting to people, it becomes really, really interesting and really can dictate the way that you grow your business, which is something I find really fascinating about marketing in general.
Now, we've said that some content that you definitely are going to put on there is you're going to put your products so people can see them. You're going to put where you're going to be if you're selling locally. But what are those pieces that you think have to be on someone's social media if they're marketing their business or social selling too?
I think it's obviously it's your personality, but it is like I kind of already mentioned. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's kind of what marketing is. It's giving somebody a solution and reminding them of that solution. So yes, you're going to put your product on there. You're going to put where they can buy it. You're going to put, honestly, how you made it in this particular industry, inspiration, and really it's just anything that inspires you, I think can go in social media, because that builds your brand. It builds your personality and kind of builds your reliability amongst your customer base.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. Why is social media a good place for sellers to start their marketing adventure or their marketing for their business?
I would say the easy answer to that is the accessibility that social media has. One, it's instead of coming up with thousands of dollars of capital to get your solution in front of people, doing it through social media, what you're investing is your time, which pretty much anybody can do, especially nowadays when there's so many really good online tools where you can create your own content. In addition to literally just being able to access it, the fact that social media is accessible through your phone is you can manage your business in between living your life. So when I was in New York, when I was on the bus, that's where most of my content came from. When I was back home, when I was sitting on the couch and watching whatever struck me that day, that's where that came from. It's just, don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of time and there is effort, but it is easily sustainable without having to come up with a bunch of money.
Awesome. Now, what would be some easy marketing campaigns someone could do on social media?
Again, in this space that we live in, within the Sawgrass customers, for instance, I had this idea that I kind of wanted to pitch, so feel free. Um, it's all around collections. So let's say you have a fall collection that you're planning, which I'm going to go with that because that's what's on my brain.
And it's right around the corner.
Exactly, it's right there. When you look at like high-end like apparel, so if you look at like Dior or Givenchy, whatever, you see they drop whole collections. And that works for them because people know who they are. They look for that drop. When you are authentically building and releasing a collection, I think you can take a different approach. So one of the easiest things to do in this instance is, let's say you do 6 different products. Instead of dropping one post that says, hey, look at all these products I made, come buy them, you can do 7. Drop 1 to 2 posts a week showing how you made it, showing the inspiration, showing what have you, and teasing that it's going to be available. And then obviously in between do your other content so you're maintaining that engagement rate and authenticity. But sprinkle it about, and then the day before it launches, we'll drop that post that shows everything, shows where you can buy it, everything. Because at that point, people have watched the process. They have grown accustomed to the way it looks, and more than likely they want it. So it's very easy, and it's quite honestly something you're already going to be doing.
Yeah.
You're just documenting it.
Awesome. All right. Finally, what tips would you offer a seller just starting out with social media marketing? It sounds simple. I know it's not, but be consistent. Whether that is in your branding, in your voice, your frequency of posting, or your style. Just weather the storm. Because if you try to follow trends too much and you change what you're doing, it's very easy to lose yourself. It's very easy to lose motivation, and audiences notice that. So really, you make a plan, stick to it, and don't compromise. Yeah, be authentic.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the things with, especially being online, is that people are looking to connect with someone who is someone they can trust.
Yeah.
And when you do change too much, when they can't tell who you are and you muddy the waters, then you lose that trust.
100%. I mean, I've seen it happen with influencers that I've worked with, where they are trying to be what they think people want, and what happens is people don't believe them. It's, I don't know who this is, but that's not the person you showed 4 videos ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you find your voice, you show your mistakes, you show that you're human, and just be unabashedly you, and that's what people gravitate towards.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brett. You gave us some great information. I think it's stuff that people can use. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Ink Differently. We'll drop a new episode the 2nd and 4th Fridays of every month. But don't worry, you can catch us other times as well. Join us for our live workshops on our YouTube channel every Tuesday and Wednesday. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.